jump pattern. This is a very difficult Catahoula leopard dog, 7 months old. He has been slamming into dogs since he was 10 weeks old. These people didn't know what to do, came to me. Now, when people come to me, I almost always talk them out of having Prince correct the dog. I only do it in certain situations. They often want it to happen because they feel that that's the only fix for their dog. And I say, listen, this isn't the right thing. Either your dog's too young. I don't think it'll help your dog. There's a lot of reasons I don't do it, but sometimes it is the only thing that works. F around and find out is nearly undefeated for 10,000 years or 1,000 years or whatever. E-collars, treats, gentle leaders, all of those things have been around for 100 years, and they're at about a 10% success rate. F around and find out is about at a 90% success rate, but you have to be careful, obviously, when you do it. Watch him bite the bars here in a minute. That's when I knew, right here, that's when I knew I needed to put a muzzle on. And I leave, literally, to go get a muzzle after I see that. I go, okay, we can't just let Prince in without a muzzle. The muzzle is meant to protect the dog. Falls into the water because he has no idea where he's going. The muzzle's meant to protect this dog. Is he going to hurt Prince? Probably not. But if he nips Prince, Prince is going to get more mad at him. Boom. Here it is. Might be tough to watch. Prince is barely biting. Shouldn't be tough to watch because you're going to see this dog with other dogs afterwards. And I'm telling you, e-collars and gentle leaders and all that stuff is not the answer. This is the way nature intended it to be. This is how organisms' brains understand not to do things. There are other half measures, and they can work sometimes. The second best method would be you being the boss, you being Prince, and your timing being good and all that. Not being Prince like in the way Prince is doing it, but you being a leader, strong, your timing being good. There being consequences, although not being painful consequences. In the same way, this is barely a painful consequence for this dude. Pain? There's very little pain in this. There's a lot of, oh my gosh, there's a lot of being overwhelmed in this. It's very little pain. Pain doesn't work. Don't mess around with things bigger and stronger than you. Works. And now he's a different dog. So, as I said, the second best way is you being the boss. If you can't come see me, if you're not on the West Coast and you can't come see me and have me and Prince in your life and you don't want to do a phone session, I now have the Beckman Aggression Program 2.0. I used to dole the videos out weekly. Now you get all the videos at once. Go to beckmanpro.com to go to my Beckman Aggression Program and all my other programs. The link will be in the description. Okay, we did not get rid of the barking. I was hoping we would. We did not. But we essentially, now there's going to be two more corrections from Prince and then one from Duke later on. But we essentially did get rid of what we had to get rid of, which is that run-up. That run-up and hit a dog had to be removed. Look at Prince. He's a champ. And then you're going to see Duke at the end of this. My other dog, a year old or 11 months old, become what I need him to be. And then just, little nip, and he finds out. He finds out there's consequences to those behaviors, whereas other kinds of consequences just don't work. Keeping this dog away from dogs does not work. I've mentioned this stuff before that doesn't work. This is nature. This is the way organisms learn, and this is not good. Look at this dude. And it's half-assed, but Prince's response is half-assed. But then he runs into like the post and the rock here. And he might learn. He's not hurt. I mean, that hurt. He hurt himself. He did the behavior. Prince turned around and he ran into something. That's how this works in the wild. And that's how their brain understands how to not do something. We invented all this other stuff. People invented all these tools to try to fix aggressive dogs, and they have failed. The best thing is the trigger correcting the dog. The second best thing is the owner, you, correcting the dog differently than a dog would correct a dog, but similarly. And then you get into leashes and gentle leaders, and then you get into treats and love and all this stuff that people think is going to fix a dog. It almost never does. But you or the dog, you are the dog correcting the dog. Now we're going to get into originality. You're going to hear my real-time breakdown to these people.
We all agree that those corrections were good for him, correct? I fully, for the first time ever, he ran into a wall and his behavior was met with overwhelming force. You're scruffing him, me correcting him. All you've done in the past is half measures compared to what happened up there. Did it work? It did. Did it fix him? It did not. But it was big and he respected it, and it's going to be hard to do going forward. But what we're hoping is that made an impression on his brain that never leaves him. Now, when I bring this Bernese down, is he going to be perfect with her? No. Is he going to question sprinting at top speed and slamming into her? Yes. So we have to start at the worst thing. We have to remove that, and then we get to the barking or we get to the pursuing. But we got to remove that worst thing, which is body slamming as hard as you can another thing. And that we might have reduced solid 50% forever. Might be 20% forever. Might be 50% for a week. I don't know. But an organism's brain, if it works well, is going to question doing that behavior again. Do you know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't it? It's like if you go out and you're dumb and you pick a fight with the biggest guy ever, you will stop picking fights at some point if it is detrimental to you. And it was pretty bad for him, but Prince didn't hurt him, which is good. Then the message is lost when the other dog goes too hard. That was a pretty good deal. This dog won't correct him, but she's big enough to handle him. And she's just so happy that him being mean to her won't affect her in any way. It'll be good for her if he's mean to her. Hey, you've got someone here, bro. Do you want to see this dog? It's amazing. It's a truly amazing response. Do we all believe that if the thing with Prince didn't happen, this would go differently? Well, that's maybe the biggest, starkest difference I've ever seen from one correction. This is unbelievable. I think he just didn't know what would happen when he does that run up, and then he learned, I guess. It's crazy. But look at this. This is going to be a different. If he can handle Duke, who basically looks like Prince, which is good and bad, then that correction was amazing. And if we can just get him to a point where he can be around dogs, then we get into socialization. What Prince did was not socialization. But if we can get him 80% better, then he becomes sort of a normal dog, which if you were to bring me a dog who barks and jumps around a Bernese mountain dog, I would say that's normal. A 7-month-old dog who's doing what he's doing is normal. That wasn't normal. This is now normal. Does it mean we want him to jump around the Bernese? No. Come on down.
Now testing out his progress with Duke. And Duke is amazing. I'll be honest with you. I didn't anticipate him being this good. And what am I seeing? Here's what I'm seeing. There is something unbelievably unique and powerful in no response. Basically, it's like the barking dog isn't even there. If you watch Duke's behavior, he's basically like, I don't even see you. That is a very unique skill. Most dogs, most people, they will respond to something in their face. But the truth is, the best way is to not respond until you have to. And when he was walking down and that dog was barking at him, he didn't even look at the dog. But he did not, he basically walked down in almost like he would normally walk down. I don't even know you're here. Because any reaction reinforces the other animal. Except if it's a hardcore go at the dog and there be a serious consequence to an incorrect behavior. But there was no bad behavior from this dog. So Duke basically said, I don't even know you're here. And that is wonderful and unique. And I'm not saying Duke and Bosco and Prince are the only dogs that have ever done that. They're not. But it's somewhat unique, and it's powerful, and it's good. So he is going to correct this dog. I take the muzzle off. He will correct this dog at some point because this dog does a final, like, I'm even right there, little nip to the face. Duke doesn't take it personally. A good dog, a helper dog, they can't take stuff personally. And why is Duke this good? He's this good for two reasons. One, he knows his place in the pecking order. He is not the boss. I am around. Prince is also down in the pasture. He's not thinking he needs to be the boss of everything. He can just chill out and be a normal, happy dog. Number two, he is around Prince all the time. He is going to absorb what Prince is. And now, this guy's getting a little too close, so he's like, just a little, get away from me. But this dog hasn't yet made contact with Duke. So Duke is saying, there's no need for a correction. You haven't touched me. And I love that. Duke is more like my first dog, Bosco, than he is Prince. That's the first thing I noticed about Bosco is his ignoring the dog until the dog crossed the line. And that was Bosco early on is kind of like Duke early on. Duke has the potential to be better than both Bosco and Prince. So Duke is going to correct him here in a second. No contact right there, but he will correct him, and it'll be kind of the final correction this dog most likely needs. I mean, he's had 4 contacts at this point. That's the 4th, and there's a consequence. Does it stop the barking? No. But it stops the hitting. And you got to stop the hitting before you stop the barking. The barking is a whole different fix. The barking is desensitization, socialization, exposure, some maybe corrections from the owner, but we've gotten the big stuff out of the way. All right, that's the video. I hope it helps. Subscribe to the channel.